All right, everyone. War's over. Pack it up. We're done here. The console war is no more, according to Microsoft. And many of the websites that for some reason agree with Microsoft. But let's discuss this. Is the console war really over already? Because it feels like even though video game consoles have been around for a long time now, it still doesn't feel like it's like the end yet. It's getting close. I really do think it is getting close to being over, but not for the reasons that Microsoft says. My name's Fanta. You're watching Fantavision. Today we're discussing the console war for this next generation because people are saying that PlayStation's already won. People are saying that Microsoft is not even part of it. And Microsoft is saying that they're not part of the console war anymore. And Nintendo's off doing whatever the hell Nintendo does. So let's discuss the recent statements that Microsoft has said about this whole console war thing and about how they're not in it anymore and how they say Sony's not their competitor, which just doesn't make any sense. It's like saying, like Honda's saying, oh, Toyota's not a competitor anymore. Yeah, they are. They definitely are. In this space, they 100% are. Even though there are other things that Microsoft is doing, if we're talking about video game related things, Sony is a 1000% still a competitor. You could argue that Nintendo is not in this console race anymore and they're not anybody's competitor because they're their own niche little thing, but Microsoft and Sony are the same thing. They're both just upgrading this box, making it more powerful, making it run better. They're not doing all these crazy creative things like Nintendo is doing. They don't have as many, they're not making their own games really. They bought studios, but for the most part, a lot of those studios are working for other places, or they do have exclusives, but they're not just, they're not Mario, they're not Zelda, they're not complete system sellers. Sony definitely has something that's close to that. They do have quite a few games and quite a few studios that make things that are pretty much system sellers, but they're not the same iconic series that Nintendo has. And like I said, Nintendo's just doing their own thing. Microsoft is saying that Sony's not their competitor and that Amazon and Google are. And that's because of cloud gaming. But I don't know if you guys have checked the news recently, but cloud gaming ain't doing great. Nobody is really that happy with Google Stadia. Some people out there defending it because they're just people that defend everything, and they just, for some reason, whenever there's big backlash to something, there's backlash to the backlash, even though 99% of the time the backlash is justified. Like saying Fallout 76 is a garbage game, it's just a fact. And saying that Sony is winning the console war is a fact. And saying that Sony is a competitor of Microsoft is a fact. Because in that space, Google and Amazon are not competing at all. They're trying to. They're really trying to, but they are not a giant source of competition, and that's because of all the things I've said since the beginning of Google Stadia being announced, since I've heard cloud gaming being announced. And for some reason, Microsoft sees this as the future of gaming. Even though, for us, the customers, that would be a very bad thing for so many reasons. Have you seen how streaming is going these days? It's not working out for us. There's Hulu, Netflix, Disney. There's like Showtime has their own thing. I believe HBO. It's just, there's so many different things. NBC's gonna have something. There's so many different streaming things that it went from, oh, Netflix to, oh crap, now it's back to paying for TV again. Competition should be a good thing. But when competition turns into that, then it becomes a problem. And that same sort of thing that's happening with streaming TV could happen with video games. You have to have, oh, well, I really want to play that game, and that's only on the xCloud, which is what Microsoft is saying is the next big thing. Oh, I have to, or is it Azure? I don't remember which one it is. Oh, I need this game, but that's only on Amazon. Oh, that game's only on Google. I really don't want to pay for any of these subscription things, and I definitely don't want to pay for multiple. I don't know about you guys, but I already hate having to pay for just playing my damn consoles online. If I could choose to play only PC games, you bet your ass I would, but I have friends that have all the different consoles. So, coming back to Microsoft saying that they're competing against Amazon and Google. First of all, Amazon has nothing right now. It's just a concept. It's an idea that they are forming. And Google, They have nothing right now. It's an idea that they're forming that they're also selling at the same time. It's been full of issues. I just saw another video on YouTube. I see them pop up like every day. Why Stadia sucks. I am canceling Stadia. Stadia does not work. Look at how bad everything is going. Look at the frame rate. Look at this. Look at that. There's so many issues with this platform, and people might just, oh, Fanta, it just started. It just came out. These things should be working when they're launched. If we are spending money on this product and we are told that it is a complete product at launch, shouldn't it be a complete product at launch? Shouldn't they not have this excuse of, oh, it's going to work later, but pay now. Give me that $130 now and keep paying me monthly. Pay for me to fix the issues, please. Even though it's Google and they own the world and they have a bajillion dollars because every company has ads through Google, and those Google ads are making them billions. Another issue I have with Microsoft saying that for some reason that Google and Amazon are the competitors is the fact that cloud gaming is not something that's going to work for the foreseeable future. It's just not, because there are too many people like me that do not have unlimited data. I know for a lot of people that's a foreign concept, but for a lot of other people, they completely get where I'm coming from, and it's just as bad in their area, if not worse. I have so many people comment down below every single time I bring up Stadia. Oh yeah, I have data caps. Oh yeah, my internet is super slow. Oh yeah, I have lots of outages. I don't know about you guys, but those are all issues I have. I remember reading a news story about a guy who got a Raspberry Pi. He hooked it up to his internet, and every single time it dropped down below what the speed was that he was paying for, it would send an email to the company saying, my internet is not performing as what I'm paying for. And it did this like 50 times a day or something like that. Until finally, that company came out and fixed the line. Now, this is not something that everybody can do, though I would love to do this myself, and I urge you all to do the same thing because all these companies 1,000% deserve it. But it's right there. That's the proof that cloud gaming is not going to work right now. Google does not have a giant internet infrastructure. They tried, but there were so many different legal potholes they hit on the way, they had to give up. Microsoft has zero. Amazon has zero. Unless these companies are going to start creating satellite internet with unlimited data that is going to be included in whatever cloud gaming thing they're going to peddle to us, it's not going to be a thing. It cannot be a thing. For the foreseeable future, we are not going to be able to have cloud gaming. And even if we did, I've seen the same thing with digital. You do not own these games. They can mark the prices up to whatever they want. They're never going to pass down these savings to the consumer, and they're going to keep selling the games for $60, even though there's no box, there's no disc, there's no manual, and they're still going to charge you for DLC, microtransactions, and everything else. We're going to see zero benefits to having cloud-based gaming. And a lot of people are also going to say, well, Fanta, you could just play it anywhere. That's the thing, is you can play these games anywhere. To me, it's worth owning the game than not having to get up and put a disc in. It's worth owning the game to not be able to play it everywhere. It really is, because how often are you going somewhere else where you don't have access to your games? I feel like that's a very rare thing for a lot of people. And if you do have these times, you're probably on vacation and video games is not the main priority. Am I correct here? Am I crazy? Or you've got a handheld thing like the Switch and you can bring it around with you anyway. So there are so many other things out there that solve this issue. And I feel like cloud gaming is something that I feel like it's completely overhyped and it doesn't make any sense for the customer. It's $130 and I get that is still much cheaper than a console. It's still much cheaper. I guess it's not that much cheaper than a console. I mean, you can get a PS4 right now for $200. It is cheaper than buying a brand new PC. But the thing is that monthly charge you're going to get, the fact that these games can be taken off at any point, I mean, there's so many different things that are going to add up to a more expensive product than if you were to just buy like a budget gaming PC, if you were to just buy a console. And that's the thing a lot of people don't think about. Over time, I feel like these things become more expensive. And I don't know about you guys, but the track record on a lot of these different internet-based services, I mean, it's crazy how many outages I have on Discord, how many times YouTube has gone down, how many times all these different websites that we use on a regular basis just crash. For some reason, Twitter doesn't seem to crash very much. But overall, a lot of these big network things seem to crash a lot. And even though Microsoft has a data center, even though Google has a data center and Amazon has a data center and Sony does not and Nintendo does not, I don't think that that means that Microsoft is out of the console race. I don't think they're out of the war. I still think that a large majority of gamers out there are going to be buying the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X as opposed to moving to a PC. As logically as it makes sense to just move to a PC, a lot of people are stuck in their ways. If they're used to just owning a console and they don't want to deal with any errors that can pop up with a computer, they don't want to have to deal with downloading an antivirus program, like simple, stupid things that take 5 seconds to do when you're first starting up your computer. They don't want to deal with all that. They just want a dedicated gaming machine with zero effort. There are a lot of people like that. And I get that. I get that mindset. And because of that, the console war is still going to be a thing. And because of that, Microsoft, as much as you want to be out of it because of how bad the Xbox One generation was, you're still in it, buddy. You're still in it. You still need to compete. And maybe the amount of money they're making with the Game Pass is making it get close to the Sony financials when it comes to making money, because that's, of course, what they're all here to do. Maybe they are closer than we think when it comes to that, but I feel like they're not. I feel like they're not because of how much smaller their user base is. So we'll see what happens this next generation. I am really curious to see what happens. I know a lot of people that are not buying the Series X just because of the price that people are worried about and because of the fact that there's no exclusives. They're all on the PC, so there's no reason to get the new console. If you're on the edge of getting a PC and you are going to buy a Series X, a lot of people are leaning towards, well, I'll just put that $600 towards a PC. And that's what's happening. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you really think that the console war is over, or do you think Microsoft is just kind of giving themselves a little bit of an out because they did not do very well this generation? Thanks for watching, everyone. Like the video if you guys liked it. Subscribe for more content. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you guys. I'm sure people are going to ask in the comments, so I might as well answer this. What am I going to be buying the next generation? I don't think I'll be buying the Xbox. And that's not because I'm a fanboy. And people always call me a Sony fanboy, which doesn't make any sense because I own all the consoles. And I would love all of the consoles to be amazing, because why wouldn't I? I mean, as a customer, even if I was, let's say, a Sony fanboy, I would still want Xbox to do amazing. Because the better Xbox does, the better Sony has to do to catch up and to compete. And that's why I really don't like Microsoft saying they're not part of that, because it almost sounds like they're just not even going to try to compete anymore. Competition is what makes capitalism work. It's what benefits the customers. And if they all start working together like they have with this whole online payment thing, they've all followed the leader. Microtransactions followed the leader. But now there's been a pushback for microtransactions, and they've eased back on a lot of different games. EA had to pull all of them out, or most of them out of Battlefront 2. They came out with Jedi Fallen Order, where there was no microtransactions pretty much that I could think of. There's so many different things that has happened because of pushbacks, because of the lack of competition. And that's why I'm worried. They're talking about, oh, we're not even competing with them. We're competing on something else that doesn't even exist yet. It makes me worried about the next generation, and I guess we'll just see. We'll see what Microsoft does. Even though they're talking about how they're not in the competition, at least it feels like they are doing things that benefit the customer, like cross-generational gaming, cross-platform gaming, and the fact that they're putting all these games in the PC, that's great for me as a customer because I'll get them on the PC and not on the Xbox. So maybe that's their angle. Maybe they just want to get the PC crowd. I don't know. It's really interesting. It's really going to be an interesting generation of games, and I can't wait.